Let's take a look at my sample solution for the table activity.
This video is brought to you by OppiPies Academy.
Now, your CSS code is actually going to differ than mine, and that's of course because you wanted your table to look the way you wanted it to look, which required different CSS. The HTML should be relatively the same as the HTML that I've developed. So let's take a look at how I structured this. Inside the table tag, of course, we have a series of table row tags. Now, because I have every other row having a black background in my document, see black, and then we have a light gray, black, and then a light gray, I gave those rows the class odd, because those are odd rows or odd numbered rows, or however you want to look at it. So I gave them the class odd. So this way they could all be striped. And you can see right here is the class odd CSS, in which we turned the background color to black and the color for white. And notice I put that on the table row tag, so it affects the entire row. So the first row includes our browser names, AOL, Internet Explorer, Netscape, Mozilla, etc. I rendered those using table heading tags because they are headings. And that's pretty much all I did to them. Then the data starts with 2002, 2003. Now you'll notice that, of course, we've got blank cells because there are years in which particular browsers didn't have any data. They didn't have any usage. Either they hadn't come into being yet, or they had already gone out of fashion. So for those, I just simply used an opening TD tag and a closing TD tag. So here in 2002, right after 8%, there is no reading for Mozilla. So I use this TD. And a matter of fact, I used it over and over again till we got the end. And that's because we still need those table datas in the table. They just don't have any text in them. So the next row was 2003. And for this one, after the year, AOL had gone out of fashion. So that's blank. So we had 2003. Then we had a blank. And then we had 85% for Internet Explorer, which you can see right here. So the entire table just follows this pattern using the data from the original document, just like this in Excel. So it's a lot of repetitive work, but by doing it, you really start to understand how tables are structured. And I bet you got very fast at this towards the end. If you were smart, you probably used some copy and paste to prevent introducing new errors. For my CSS, I wanted to have the nice single line collapsed borders. So on the table heading, table data tags, and the table tag itself, I have a border collapse. That's what collapses the borders into those single pixel borders. I wanted a slightly thicker border around the entire table. So note that the table has this border rule in the CSS. 3 pixels solid black, while the table heading and table data cells, right, which is all this in between, simply has a 1 pixel solid black border. Other than that, all I did was set off the background color. This is a gray background for the table itself, but then I took the odd rows, as I mentioned before, and set that background color to black. Again, your CSS is going to look different because you probably were more creative than me and made a better looking table. Whatever you did, I hope this turned out well and you learned a lot about table structures in HTML.